Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. I would let me allow people to be notified and then we kick off. Happy Good Friday to all that are celebrating. Today is Good Friday for Christians. I would allow a few minutes for people to come in. Okay. Okay, so I'm allowing my presentation load. Thank you for being here. If you can see and hear me, just to be sure, I would want you to say hello in the chats. I need to be on another phone to be able to see what we're doing. So this is going to be a really exciting program. How many of us already work remotely? So this is all about from Africa to the world. How can you, showcase your talent, your skills outside of your terrain? And I'm aware that most of us are based in Nigeria, so this is a fun internal presentation for us. Fun internal presentation. If you're commenting, please type so that I can be sure we can hear me. We're going to spend exactly, let's say 45 minutes to 60 minutes, because I want to also incorporate our questions. If you don't have your journal, please do get your journal ready. Get a pen, find a quiet spot, and we'll be, ready to have a beautiful conversation. So I would start as soon as my slides, loading, but I would love to be sure that you can see and hear me. If you can see and hear me, please type yes in the comments, so that we can really be sure. Okay, so I would start shortly. All right, so welcome to our beautiful presentation from Africa to the world. How to earn dollars working remotely from Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana. I'm sure some of us are outside of Nigeria. So we're going to have a beautiful conversation. Like I said, get your journal, your pen ready, be in an attention, a place that would allow you focus, and then would move ahead. Let me try to make that bold. Okay, so I hope we can all see. So welcome if you're just joining us. It's a beautiful conversation we're going to have, like I said, and would love to meet you. Let's learn about you, your name, your career focus. Have you worked remotely before? Because our focus today is all about remote work. If you've worked remotely, do type with a yes. You can type on the comments, we'll come to it. Share your expectations from this webinar. We titled it From Africa to the World, How to Earn Dollars Working Remotely. So share a bit of that in the comment, because I just want to be sure we can all see and hear. So what would you choose? Pomodoro technique or time blocking? Pomodoro technique or time blocking. Someone may say, what's Pomodoro technique? Is a technique for those that would know, PK would know that is a technique for making sure you stick to tasks, or do you time block on paper, or with a planner? Would love to really hear, and all that. Would love to really hear. Do you time block currently? Okay, then is it a to-do list for you or a tax manager app? There's so many tax management apps, out there. Which one is it for you? Is it single taxing or multi-taxing for you? Then is it pen or paper, or you use your digital device, to work? Would love to see and hear your comments, because we always love to, know who is watching us and where they are coming from. So this presentation is created by Right Track Consulting. We're a firm founded in 2009. Our portfolios range from working with individuals, small businesses, multinationals, public sector entities, and non-governmentals. Our services: digital marketing, advisory services, social media, management consulting, professional training, certification exam prep, various types from project management to process improvement and everything in between. We also implement customized software solutions for organizations, especially with learning management systems. So myself, I'm Ojugo Ajunwa. I'm the co-founder at Right Track for the past 15 years. My roles have been in project consulting, training, IT software implementation, digital marketing, and event management. I'm the author of a book, Content to Currency: Lessons Learned Managing Projects in Nigeria. And then A Day in a Life of a Project Manager, which I did with 50 other project managers across the world. The two books, Lessons Learned, A Day in the Life of a Project Manager, they are all available on Amazon. I'm a facilitator and a coach with various organizations apart from Right Track. Notable among them is the Enterprise Development Center in Abuja. I'm the chairman of Teach for Employability Skills Foundation. I'm an alumni of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women Cherry Blair Foundation mentor, and then the UNCTAD E-Trade Women Community is a global community. I also host a virtual event called the Small Medium Enterprise Virtual Conference, and then I host the Grow Time podcast on Spotify. I speak locally and globally. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and then with our community on Instagram and on Twitter. So this new community, we've been talking about remote work, everything around it. And we know that some people are like, there are people that do not even know what it is. To those that are already working internationally, even locally, but then they are doing it remotely. So that's what our conversation, is really, really all about. So a bit of housekeeping. Please turn off notifications just for the 35 minutes we would have to spend. Get a journal ready. Like I said earlier, get your journal and your pen ready, so that we can have a valuable conversation. So from Africa to the world, Africans Got Talent. I'm sure we already know. If you do not know, please do know it, that we've got talent. Some of the top companies in the world, the Microsofts, the Amazons, the Facebooks, the Googles, They all have Nigerians working within them, and all of that. And the future of work is remote. 73% of teams would have remote workers by 2028. We are in 2023. So this is 5 years from now. So that's why these conversations are coming up, to get you prepared to start working remotely. Again, Google says it's extending its employee work from home policy. This was during the pandemic. So that means it's recognized you can work from home. Reuters, employees can work from home till a certain time. These periods were during the pandemic. So that encouraged big organizations to allow people work from anywhere. Twitter says the company will suspend business travels and in-person events for the rest of 2020. These were things that happened back then that prepared and, how will I say, accelerated everything about remote work. Amazon, employees can work from home. These things did not used to just happen, back in the day, but then we are embracing it because the world as we know it, a whole lot has also changed. So what does remote work mean? What does remote work mean? Remote work refers to a work arrangement where the employee or the contractor does not need to come in physically. You don't need to clock in by 8 a.m., into an office or a factory, but you can work from any location. And what has helped us? The internet. Once you have internet, good internet, you can work from home, a co-working space, a coffee shop. Work has changed. So remote work can be full-time, part-time, project-based. It can also be referred to as telecommuting, telework, working from home, whatever language you use. Because of the rise of digital technologies, collaboration softwares available today, you can actually work from anywhere. Let's bring it back home to Africa. Organizations are also allowing their people, to choose certain days, to work from home. So that arrangement, if you still go to the office and then you also work, a few days from home, that's a hybrid, arrangement. Some people work hybrid, some people work totally, fully remote. So let's enjoy some of these statistics. What's the estimated number of people in Africa who will be working remotely by 2025? 30 million. That's for 2 years from now, 30 million of us from Africa would be working remotely. And remember, I said some of this is also local remote, not just international remote. Then what percentage of African workers will consider remote work if given the opportunity? From a certain survey, they said 87% of people raised their hands that, my goodness, I want to work remotely. Then which country has the highest number of remote workers? Someone says the giant of Africa, Nigeria. That means we are really getting there, with working remotely. How much can a Nigerian freelancer earn per month on average? $3,000. Now do the math. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but I know it's around 760 at the time of this recording. So that means it's a livable wage. Then what is the estimated contribution of remote work to the African economy by 2030? 7 years time, $5 billion. So it's a good time to get into that groove, understand what remote work is all about and get yourself well positioned. Which African country is known as the Silicon Savannah, not Valley? Due to the thriving tech industry and remote work opportunities, Nairobi, Kenya. So that means you could, target Nairobi, Kenya if you work in the tech industry, and you need opportunities. They said it's the Silicon Savannah. So do take note of all of these. It would help. So this is our agenda and we are sticking to it. If you've been on my webinars, my lives, you know that I stick to time. So we are hitting the road running. Please make sure that you take note of your questions. We'll take questions, at the end. So the agenda, the pandemic has accelerated the shift to digital transformation, and remote work is the way to go. It's here to stay. Companies across the globe, they are embracing this new way of working, and there are now more remote work opportunities available than ever before. Are you ready to take advantage of the growing trend of remote work opportunities? Really important. So this is going to be an informative event, just to help you get set, really important, so that you can get set to work remotely. So in this event, we're going to cover what are remote jobs and where can you find them. We're going to cover effective strategies, how to get yourself ready to actively search and find remote work opportunities around you, both locally and internationally. We're going to study effective strategies for landing remote jobs on 3 specific platforms for today. So this event is packed, and then we'll have our Q&A. So really important, Q&A is there, so make sure that you showcase your questions. Then we'll also take a look at a 4-week online self-paced course from Africa to the world, how to earn dollars working remotely. We launched on April 28, 2023. So let's look at some background before we start. Are you tired of long commutes? Because some cities, they hold up. I don't know who among us is living in Lagos, and all that. If you live in Lagos, it's almost 2.5 or 3 hours in some cases going, and then 3 hours coming. So people are tired of long commutes. There is need for more flexibility, because people have young families, personal obligations. And if you follow the route of traditional office work, it could make you would be almost an absent kind of parent. And today we need to create balance in our homes. Then limited job opportunities for people. Some have certain skills that in the area where you live, you may never really find the opportunities you need. So a solution for you could be remote work. Thank you, Diala Oka. And then again, people want work-life balance. Someone asked me recently whether there was anything like work-life balance. And I said, yes, it could be possible. But of course, you prioritize what is important at each point in time, because priorities can actually change, from here to there. Then remote work as of today, the interest is growing because people want a flexible lifestyle. If you want a flexible lifestyle, put a 1 in the comments. Even if you're watching this on replay, do put a 1 in the comments and would come to you. So people want a flexible lifestyle. Many job seekers, they are interested in the idea of working and traveling, while still earning a living. Diala says 1. Thank you for engaging. Then access to global communities. Remote work would allow you to access, job opportunities across the globe. I remember having a LinkedIn acquaintance. I saw that she lived in, where did she live? Abakiliki or something. And she was working with an organization in Dublin, at that time, a contract position. And she's doing it comfortably. That's what we are talking about. So you could even be in Omar here. You could be in Jos. You could be in Taraba. But you're working with someone outside of Nigeria. It could even be Kenya. It could even be Lagos, and so on. So those are opportunities that working remotely would create for you. Again, skill development. Remote work can offer opportunities for skill development and learning from professionals across, different industries, because now you're not just interfacing with your locals, you're interfacing with people that have been exposed, to different things, in their career, and you learn and sharpen your skills from there as well. So how do we position to work remotely? how do we position to work remotely? Now, this is the heart of it. Remote work, finding it in itself, it's a project, if I could say so. It's actually a project because you need to be focused to be able to achieve it. So these are some key steps to help get you ready to actively search and find remote work opportunities. First of all, okay, Chinyere, I'll come to you. First of all, identify your skills and expertise. What skills do you have? Find a journal, list them down, look at your CV for reference, determine what types of remote work opportunities will be a good fit for you, because you must be fit for the work you're equally applying for. And then the second one is to optimize your online presence. Create a professional LinkedIn profile. How many of us have LinkedIn profiles? If you do, please drop an L to indicate I have LinkedIn, in the comments. So the LinkedIn profile, one thing it does is not like it's your CV, but one thing it does is that it showcases your skills, your experience, your personality, to people that want to hire. So you must ensure that, when you have your resumes and all of that, everything is up to date. I think we did a survey in the WhatsApp group, because we have a WhatsApp community, and we asked a lot of people, when did you update your CV last? Some people said 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and so on. So updating your CV, optimizing your online presence, it has to be, refreshed from time to time, because you can't have something representing you online that shows what you did, let's say 6 years ago. We need to know, what are you doing currently? That's what positioning for remote work is all about. Again, network with industry professionals. So join online communities in your area of interest. If you go into LinkedIn, again, there are so many of them available. You just need to search in the search bar. You'd find your industry, their groups and all of that. Be intentional about joining the active groups. Really important. Be intentional about commenting, responding to what they are doing. If there is an event, participating in it, and so on. It really, really does help. Then leverage job platforms. There are so many job platforms, but then would hint you on a few as we go on. So there is Upwork, Freelancer, Remote.co. You could use them to search for opportunities. There is also Indeed. Let me type that one in there. So there is also Indeed. Indeed is a beautiful tool to use, to showcase your skills and get jobs. And guess what? Even people within Nigeria already advertise their remote jobs on these platforms, especially Upwork and Indeed. So please do take note of the two. Then target specific industries and job types. Don't be everywhere, with your job search. I usually, when I talk to people that are in between jobs, I usually would ask them, where do you want to work? What role do you want to play? So with remote work, you need to be specific about the role you want to play. So you need to, like, you could find 3 things you could do. And again, we'll talk about not using one CV, to do everything. One CV for the 3 roles, it will not really work. It will not really work. So we'll talk about all of that. Again, you could build your personal brand on these sites I've listed. Really important. So this is a takeaway from today's webinar. There is about.me, so that when someone Googles your name, remember these remote recruitment HR people, they are really, really smart. So when they want to recruit you, they need to look at who they are recruiting. Remember, they may not be seeing you physically. So that's why some of your social handles, you have to be careful what you put on it. Sometimes I think in Nigeria, we just came out of a period that was, I don't know, I don't want to use the word toxic, but then it was not an easy period, with the political season, the bickering, people saying so many different things and all of that. And if you join in doing those things, when a hiring manager comes to look at your profile, they'll be like, no, we don't want to. Yes, this person is skilled though, but we don't want to hire this kind of a person. So you need to clean up your personal brand, because if you don't tell us who you are, what you put out there would tell us who you really are. So there is about.me, there is LinkedIn. I don't want to read up all of these. You can, read them up later. You can ask for I can share the, what's it called? The webinar files, to people that would request for it after the program. So there is LinkedIn. We've talked about LinkedIn, using it as your profile online, really important. In fact, that's the first place recruiters will go to. They want to see your LinkedIn profile. Now, if they don't even see your face, don't see a profile summary, don't see about you and things like that, how would they hire you? So today's world, it's remote hiring. Your remote profiles, your virtual online profiles have to be on point. They have to be fresh. They have to be updated. They have to match who you are in 2023. Okay, Basi says he would need the webinar file. Okay, that's good. We'll share it inside the WhatsApp group. I will drop the link of the WhatsApp community, and then we'll just, do a file share so that you can access it. Then there is also Behance. It's a platform for creatives. Like you tell someone, oh, I build websites. They want to see, okay, where are the websites you've built before we hire you? Oh, I do graphics. They want to see where is the sample of, the graphic work you've done. So this is a beautiful place to showcase, your expertise. Then there's GitHub. So this one is for developers, people that code, you build mobile apps, you do this and that, you use open source. Go to GitHub, create a profile for yourself. Remember, creating your profiles on these platforms, it's easy. So these are the first things you would need to do to position yourself for remote work. Then there is Upwork. I talked about it earlier. It's a freelance platform. Again, it's free for you to go in there, put up your image, give us a description of who you are, what your skills are. They even allow you to put in the price, that you would want to charge someone requesting for your service. So you could look around you, people in your industry that are already on Upwork. Now, this is not just for people that are job seeking, even for businesses. Open your Upwork account, state what you do, state what the charges are, and all of that. You never know who would find you. Then there is Medium. If you love writing, publishing articles, that is a beautiful place to be. So I'm just giving us a rundown of 6. And then if you can, WordPress has blog sites, so that when someone Googles, let's say Chinyere Onu or Diala Oka or Basi Ibiang, or whoever, or Ojugo Ajumwa, they are able to see something about you, because those things make them put some points, against your name. So that is one of the key things, you would really need to do. So let's do a quick survey, just to be sure and to reset the room that we are in here. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you have a personal brand? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. Okay. 9. Wow. Dial, I'm Googling your name after this. That is interesting. Okay. So let me also put my own. I think I should be a 9 as well. So I've put my own. I'm a 9 as well. 5. Beautiful, Basi. So having a personal brand is where it starts from. If we mention some people's brands now, I'm sure we'd all wave our hands. If you're in Nigeria and you know RMD, I don't need to mention his full name. That's a personal brand he has built. If we mention, what are some of these musicians? Wizkid, I've not mentioned who he is. It's a personal brand. If I mention Daddy Adeboye. I've not said where he's you know, in what religious institute he's in charge of. You would know who he is. So if we mention your name or initials of your brand, you know, can people recognize it? So it's the world of your personal brand. You know, people are not just walking, you know, for being on a job stable. You need to think of yourself as a personal brand, you know, so that people, there is perception, people know who you are and what you're really all about. Thank you for engaging. I would continue. Again, effective strategies for landing remote work. And I'm using 3 specific job platforms. So we are now going deeper into this. So the first one is Upwork. So we said you go to upwork.com, open a profile. It's free for you to do so. So how do you optimize your profile? You make sure that all the areas that need filling, you fill them. Put a picture. Tell us your skills and experience. And very important, use relevant keywords, you know, when you're talking about what you do, and then highlight your portfolio so that when someone wants to hire you, they are seeing all of these details. Again, customize your proposal. As soon as a job notification comes up, everybody is racing. So how do you prepare? Make sure you customize your proposals. It should match the job that they are talking about. So don't do a generic proposal. If you didn't take anything away from the conversation, no more generic proposals. You know, make specific proposals that are customized for the role you're looking for. Again, focus on reviews. So when you've worked for people, you know, on the platform, encourage them to drop reviews for you. So that's the way you can rank higher and people can pick you out of the competition. The second platform is Freelancer. Who knows Freelancer? You can put an F in the comments. Freelancer. Sorry, I had to take a water break. So complete your profile. Again, when you go in there, showcase your skills, put your photo. And please, when you're making a photo, have a professional headshot. You know, sometimes in Nigeria, I see some guys wear singlets on their LinkedIn, and I'm like, are you really serious? That was on a lighter note. Okay. Okay. That was on a lighter note, you know, so let's be professional. If you want people to hire you, you need to present yourself in the right way. Then apply to relevant jobs. You know, don't just, oh, because there is this opening, it doesn't even match the skills you have. You just apply, they would not respond. So make sure it matches what you're, you know, what skills you're good at, you're best at, you know, and so on. Again, communicate effectively. When you're on these platforms with them, remember they are not Nigerians. So as you're doing their work, you know, ask questions, give feedback. If you're having issues, you're also communicating back to them. Then there is Fiverr. Fiverr is a $5. I think that's where they got the name from, Fiverr. So I'm using these 3, Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr, as samples. There are so many others. I talked about Indeed earlier as well. You know, even your LinkedIn is a platform. If you can turn on notifications, you know, for specific roles, you can also get roles, role alerts sent to you. Like if you say, oh, I want to japa to Dublin, Canada, you can start from today. You know, turn it on LinkedIn, turn on the locations you're looking for these job roles from. You know, put your specification. Are you a junior? Are you a manager? Are you a, you know, a higher level role kind of person and all of that? Turn them on. When you turn them on, you would start, you know, seeing these alerts. When you respond to them, you start getting interviews. So like I said earlier, this thing is a project. You know, this thing is a project. So that's why we're really taking our time from right track consulting to actually do this for us, so that we can be well positioned to grab the opportunities, just like the Indians do, the Filipinos do. We must also position ourselves in Nigeria to capture those opportunities that are out there. So Fiverr is a $5 site. So there you create your gig. Creating a gig that stands out from the competition, you must be specific about your service, highlight your skills. Even though we said it's a $5 platform, you could charge any amount that you want. It just means that you can charge for a very little piece of work for $5, and so on. Again, you could add professional videos where you're pitching your audience, about who you are, your skills, your experience. Price your gig competitively. So don't underprice or don't overprice, especially if you're new to these platforms, because you need people to have the confidence of even coming. And then from there, as you get more gigs, in fact, if you look for some certain Nigerian profiles, you see some people have done 100 jobs on Fiverr. You would even see it. They've worked with 100 clients on different, activities and so on. Then get your reviews. Reviews are so important online. Positive reviews by your clients. Encourage them to drop these reviews for you. So there we go with the major part of this. Some questions we got and their answers. I decided to just put them here because I know some of us may also have similar questions. So just a few of them. So this first one says, how can I find remote job opportunities that match my skills? So we said use LinkedIn to search for those kind of remote jobs, and then connect with other remote workers and industry professionals. So again, your profile, like I've been saying, must be optimized. You have to write your summary properly. In fact, add that you even work remotely if you already do, or you desire to work remotely, you do not mind remote jobs, so that when these recruiters come in, you're sounding like a fit for who they want to hire. Then the second question says, how can I showcase my transferable skills on my resume and cover letter for remote jobs? You must emphasize that you work independently and that you communicate effectively. Communication is so key when working remotely, and that you manage your time effectively. So no Nigerian or African time, when you're working remotely. You have to pattern your culture, to the organization you're working for. And if you're doing an international job, you just have to stick to their time. And then again, make sure the roles you're looking for, the time zones work for you, so that you don't stay up all night, toiling, working with them and all of that. Make sure it matches what you can easily adjust to. The next question says, what are some of the tools and software that I would need to work remotely? Of course, first is your reliable internet, your computer, your laptop, in some cases, maybe your mobile device. Again, you will need software for communication, project management, collaboration. So tools like Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Slack, Trello, Asana, Telegram, WhatsApp. They are beautiful tools for communicating when you're working remotely, and any other specific tool your industry would use. Then the next question, how can I showcase my transferable skills on my resume? So like I said earlier, I think this is a repeat. You must mention you work independently. So use those words, show that you can manage your time, you can communicate very well, and so on. That's what they would want to see at that point. All right, so that's that with some Q&As. And as we, get towards the end of this, your skills audit would want you to take away your skills audit from this webinar. So what would you bring to the table in exchange for dollars? So I want you to think of all the skills you've gathered 1 year ago, 3 months ago, 25 years ago, or as long as you've worked. Match them to the type of service or job you want to provide in your journal. So think about competencies and programs you have experience with or you're good at. It could be a tool, It could even be, oh, I work well with Notion. I work well with Asana. Those are project management tools. Oh, I work well with Excel, PowerPoint. I can plan meetings. Those are beautiful skills. Competencies and programs you have no experience with. I want you to also lead that. And that I want you to also leave that on your journal, or you're not very good at, so that you know what not to apply for. Competencies and programs you would want to learn. Sometimes we may find certain gaps, in our skills, and we just need to close those gaps to get those jobs. So think about things you need to also learn. Competencies and programs you would like to use, competencies and programs you don't like to use, so that you can be very clear on this journey, that you're about to embark in, working remotely. So this is our coaching assignment. Do a skills audit, just like I've shown us. I would share the slides in the group, in our WhatsApp group, so that you can take a look at it at your pace. Please do the skills audit yourself. What skills do you have? Where should you be? What are your gaps? What would you want to learn? So categorize them into soft and hard skills. Then what skills can you pick up and offer as a service? Share your answers with us. You could tag our Instagram handle, VA_hub community on Instagram, or share in the WhatsApp group. I'll drop the link of the WhatsApp group, for you to easily join. Again, share your assignments. Would love to see that you did this bit of work. So how can you find remote work? We've gotten these questions, over and over and over again. So leverage job boards and specialized job search websites. So there are so many job boards. Again, LinkedIn, remote.co, Indeed, Upwork, Fiverr, Flex Jobs, they're all there, and we said turn on alerts. So you're having some things to do. We said your skill audits, clean out your profiles, create your accounts on some of those. For some of us that just joined, we talked about creating your accounts, on about.me, LinkedIn, Behance, GitHub, Upwork, Medium, if possible, a WordPress blog site, so that when somebody Googles your name, they are able to find who you are, what you do, and stuff like that. Then network with other people, both physically and remotely, because from there you would hear things, and that's why we've created our Twitter and WhatsApp communities, so that you can engage with others on this journey. Then build a strong online presence and personal brand. I think we've talked about that. So this is just a recap. Make sure that people recognize you for what you do. Customize your application for every job. We've also talked about that. It's not a one size fits all kind of thing. You must be able to, create a customized cover letter, customized CV for the jobs you're looking for, and then be persistent. Like I said, just like the physical jobs have competition, the remote jobs also do have competition, and I think I mentioned the Indians, and so on. They are all over the place. A lot of them work remotely, but that shouldn't stop you, so be persistent, follow up. And we said remote work doesn't just mean international jobs. It could even be a local remote job. You just need to position yourself, properly for that. So that draws us to the end of the heart of what we wanted to share. So we want to talk quickly about our online program, From Africa to the World, How to Earn Dollars Working Remotely. So it's a 4-week program. You would understand the remote job market. What does this market contain? What are the benefits of working remotely, the challenges? How do you surmount it? How do you stand out as a remote work candidate? So that will be for week 1. So this is a self-paced program, but we're having our first cohort, start from April 28th. Then we have building your personal brand, really important. Don't think about it as, oh, it's only businesses that have brands. People also brand themselves. And especially if you want to succeed working remotely, you must brand yourself. So we'll talk about, things to do to build up your online presence, your how people perceive you, your unique value, what sets you apart from every other person, that is searching for work remotely. Then we'll take a look at crafting a winning resume and cover letter. So if your resume or CV was written 7 years ago, this program is for you. It's a simple program that, once you take it, you're absolutely well positioned to land those jobs sooner than later. So we'll help you craft your winning resume and cover letters. You could even have cover letter A, B, C for different job roles, that you can put out there and be able to land those job opportunities. Would also use a bit of, I'm sure some of us know Chat GPT. So we'll use a bit of that to re-engineer, the keywords that we should be having on our resumes, our cover letters. We'll talk about that in the program. It's more elaborate. So we'll take it, one after the other. Then we have week 4, where you're mastering your remote work interviews. So we'll talk about what questions they usually would ask remote staff, that is different from what you would have learned with, traditional jobs, and so on. How to position yourself on video, be confident when you're speaking with them, and things like that. So by the end of this course, you would have knowledge, and the tools that is necessary to start your journey towards earning dollars working remotely. So you need to access our community if you're not already in there. We'll drop more details over there. So again, total time to complete this program will be 6 hours. So it will be bite-sized, but it will be power-packed. So the early bird cost is 19,900 Nigerian Naira. And then after 27th of April is 29,900 Nigerian Naira. The format of the program: videos, downloadable PDF so that you can walk inside it, audios, and then we have a support community to keep you accountable. So you could join us with this link over there. I would also put that link on the chat. Once we are done, I'll put that link on the chat so that it's easy for you to find. Just a moment. Let me drop that over there. So it's a simple form. You fill it, notify us when you have registered, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so that's the link again. And then we said our first cohort, of this program would launch April 28th, and it will last till May 28th. So you have a full month. Get yourself prepared, get yourself well positioned, and all of that. So that is it from me. So this is question time. If you have questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments. If you're watching on replay, still drop your questions and we'll come to it. So I'll give us a few minutes to take your questions. So it's question time. Okay. So I'll wait a few more minutes. If I see questions, we'll come back, to take them. So again, please do join the chat, the remote work chat. I would also drop that link on the comments, so that you can chat with us if you have questions, or you feel, oh, I need more clarity on a certain thing. Please feel free to chat with us. This is a WhatsApp link. and we'll take your questions from there. So thank you for participating. We've actually come to the end. Thanks for engaging and hanging out with us. We'll see you back in the WhatsApp group. So chat with us on WhatsApp. If you're not already in there, we'll add you in. And we wish you all the best. Thank you, and have a lovely Easter holiday celebrations for those that are Christians that are celebrating.